This is how I made my first game and sold it on Steam. The story begins in July 2024. Back then, I had already made a few games using Scratch, Unity or Godot, but I never actually finished most of them. That had to change. It was summer break and all my friends were on vacation, so I was stuck at home alone. Outside it was burning hot and playing video games alone was incredibly boring. So I decided to open up Godot. For the last 2 weeks of summer break, I wanted to program a game and publish it on Steam. I was super hyped and immediately started making a game plan. To avoid overextending myself, I chose a simple 2D game as a base. I still had to learn all the programming and most of Godot's features. On top of that, I had to implement sound effects, creating a game menu, which I had never done before, and draw my own assets. I kept the art style simple in black and white, because it's easy to get lost in the details if you care too much. I was actually quite happy with the result. The player and the game objects all looked fine, and even the animations turned out decent. The programming then went pretty well, and setting up the player movement was done very fast. For the game menus I just copied some tutorials and added my own flavor, because who cares about them. I also added 3 game modes and an in-game timer, but more on that later. In the end it only took around 2 weeks until the game was set up and ready for export. So how does the game work? I decided to go with a ninja as a player, because ninjas are sick. You can walk and jump around, you can sprint and you can dash, which I'm especially proud of. But it's not just another boring platformer. I knew I had to add something special, something that would make the game interesting. And there's one thing I feel isn't appreciated enough. Speedrunning. Most games either have insanely good players with impossible times to beat, or the speedrun setup is so complex that you give up before even starting. So I added an in-game timer to track your run. It does all the work for you. The game is pretty hard, which is why I added the training mode, where you can practice every part of the game individually, and for those who think it's too easy, there's also a hardcore mode, but I don't really recommend playing that one. To add a bit of competition, I also submitted the game to speedrun.com, where you can post your runs. But back to the video. Once the game was working, you might think, good job bro, now just hit that upload button and you're done. At least, that's what I thought. But I soon realized Steam gives you a lot of extra work. I had to create tons of images in 100 different formats, record a trailer, capture in-game footage, write a description and go through the process of making the game file Steam ready, which also took ages. I was completely overwhelmed. But I pushed myself through it and somehow I got it all working. Honestly, it almost took longer than programming a game, but ChatGPT carried me hard. So please don't read the description of the game on Steam. Thanks to you. After 3 weeks the game was done and I was so happy to finally be ready for release. And on August 12th, 2024, it finally happened. I uploaded my game to Steam with the most creative name on the planet. Ninja Shadow of the Dash. Why are you laughing? That was the best name ChatGPT came up with. So now the game has been on Steam for almost a year. It costs $2.99 because I had to pay 100 euros to get it on Steam, and yeah, I'm kinda broke. I thought $2.99 was a fair price for what you get. But now you're probably thinking, wait, if you only spent $100 and the game costs $2.99, you must be rich now. And yes, I did only spend around $100. But I also only sold 15 units. And yes, I said 15, not 50. Wish it would be 50. If you do the math and subtract the sales, tax and Steam's cut, I was left with around $24. Yes, I think I'm rich now. But in the end, I learned a ton and can use the knowledge for my next project, which I'm already working on. A 3D multiplayer racing game. If you don't want to miss the process, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I will try to upload 2 to 3 times a month now. And if you can't wait and really want to see me, come check out my Twitch, Highlander TV. Links in the description. I'm streaming almost daily right now. Please leave a follow there, it would mean a lot. I'm trying to reach 50 followers on Twitch, so please help me out. It's totally free and only takes a second of your time, and while you're doing this, just subscribe to this channel. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you liked my first video, and with that, see you next time.